but that's alright. Overwatch is a pretty fun game. That's the game that I like to play, where you're a sniper and a spotter, and the sniper is up top and at a vantage point, and the spotter is down on the ground running around completing a mission. And basically, he can tag, objects for you if you're the sniper to shoot, or you can tag objects for the person on the ground to know where they are. Kill tally is my favorite part of the online play. I usually play it by myself, but every once in a while I do come across somebody that is, good enough to hold their own. But basically, you gotta survive wave after wave of Nazis coming after you, or Russians, depending on which stage it is that you pick. But you won't. It's the Horde style mode of gameplay, where you have to survive wave after wave after wave of enemies attacking you. You get great loadout weapons. Really creative. They did a really good job in getting creative with the side loadouts. You get Stalingrad grenades, those long tubular grenades. You get the coconut looking M1 grenade, they call it. You get landmines, which are great. Those are great. I use those a lot. Oh, I love landmines. But my favorite weapon in the loadout system has to be, by far, hands down, the trip mine. Ooh. Now, if you guys have played this game and you've used a trip mine, then you know that that is a really fucking awesome tool to use. You can set it up going from, open the door, and you can set it up from one side of the door to the other, and when someone walks through, they trip the wire and it explodes from both sides. Sometimes if you set them up just right, you can get 3 or 4 kills in one explosion. They're just really fun to use, and it's a great little gimmick. It's nothing I've ever seen in any other games. So, down to the verdict. What did I give this game? Well, I gave this game a big ol' whopping 7 out of 10. Why did I do that? I really had a hard time giving this game a 7. I wanted to give it a much higher number, but, there were just a few things that it was lacking. Now, I love this game. Like I've said it lots of times already, this is a really great third-person game. It's a jewel. It's not like a lot of games out there. It's the whole sneak and peek factor is really good. The story is extremely enticing, and the gameplay is just, what can I say? The gameplay is really good. It's just really good. They just did an awesome job with the graphics, and just everything I thought was really great. But there were no versus game mode at all. 0. That would have been really cool if you could go sniper on sniper. That would have been a great option for some gameplay. That would have been awesome. 1-on-1, 1v1s, sniper versus sniper. That would have been great. That would have been really cool. But it's not there. So that's one notch that I took off. Another one was there weren't really enough stages in the multiplayer. Not enough. If you went, I feel bad, feel stupid saying multiplayer, because there's not really any multiple players to play with, but in, the online multiplayer, whatever you want to call it, each one of those stages only gets 3 stages. I mean, you think, considering they cut out team deathmatch, capture the flag, 1v1, all the, types of gameplay like that, you'd think that they would have maybe thrown more levels in to, Overwatch, bombing run, and kill tally. But you only get 3 stages in each one of those. So, that's another notch that it got. The final one was I just didn't think there were enough enemies in it. Not enough. I wanted to kill more fucking Nazis. Personally, there's a lot of other games where they just send so many fucking people out at you that it can become overwhelming. And I never felt overwhelmed in this game. I never felt like I was ever really challenged. Now, there's different modes that you can set the game on, obviously. There's easy, medium, and then a mode called Sniper Elite, which is hard. There's also a mode called Custom, where you can get really, really technical with the settings. I mean, you can take, wind drop off, you can take bullet drop, you can take all these, the reticle, like all these things that you can change. You can make it so that the bullet travels in a straight line. There's no, nothing mechanical much to the game. So you can break it down, or you can make it really, really hard, to where the bullet is affected by the slightest little thing, right down to if you're laying on the ground, in a prone position, or if you're standing up. You can really get technical in that aspect. So in some ways you can make the game harder, but you're really only making the player harder to use. You're not making the enemies that much harder. In the Sniper Elite setting, the enemies do work a little bit more together in trying to find you. They're a little bit more resilient, and they don't give up as easy, but in the end it was just as easy to kill them on Sniper Elite as it was to kill them on Marksman and noob level. So those are the 3 things that I thought this game could have improved on. 7 out of 10, still not a bad rating. That's still a good game. You can find it now in the stores for like $30. I got my copy at 8-bit and up. It's in the Lower East Side of Manhattan on 35 St. Mark's Place on the 2nd floor. This video game store is awesome. It has got everything that you'd want. It's got old, classic, vintage titles. You've got Commodore 64s in there, in the box. You got GameCubes. You got Ataris. You got Sega Genesis, Wii, Xbox, PlayStation, you name it. They have got everything in there. They've got Nintendo DS's, they've got Vitas, they've got Game Boys, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Classic, Game Boy Advance. These guys have everything. It's a really quaint, awesome little shop in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and if you're ever in that area, you gotta go and check it out. It's top-notch service, and the guys in there are just really cool. They know pretty much everything there is to know about gaming, so if you had any questions, it'd be the spot to go. Check them out. So remember, if you're a fan of third-person games, you like to watch reviews, you like to play them, you're just a fan of them, you hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to do all that I can to review every great third-person game out there. If you got any suggestions or any games, any reviews that you'd like to see done, put them in the comments below. I will do what I can to make that video as soon as I can. And thanks a lot. Tune in again, and I'll see all you beautiful people later. Thanks. Oh, you motherfucker!